My brother smirked from across the table and said, "So, where's your sweet little family?" "Oh yeah, you don't have one." My parents burst out laughing, right up until I stared at him and replied, "Nice joke. Now where's your own cash?" "Oh right, it's been my wallet keeping you alive, and that ends tonight." Can you imagine looking at a document and seeing your own name, but it's not your signature? It's been forged. And it's for tens of thousands of dollars, pushing you into debt by the very people you loved and trusted most, your own family. That was the day I realized I wasn't just being taken for granted. I was being stolen from. And everything changed. My name is Liam, and for years, probably my entire adult life, if I'm being honest, I was the family's go-to guy. The problem solver. The quiet financial safety net. I didn't consciously think of myself that way, but looking back. Yeah, that was absolutely me. Caleb, my younger brother, short on rent. Poof, I'd cover it. Mom's car breaks down. No problem, my wallet was open. Dad's consulting business hit a snag. Just a few hundred, Liam, until the next client, he'd say. And I'd send it. And I never complained. Not once. I genuinely believed I was doing the right thing, being a good son, a good older brother. I mean, I could afford it, right? Decent tech job, lived pretty simply. It never felt like a huge deal, until last Sunday. We were all just chilling at my parents' place, football droning in the background, typical lazy Sunday. Then, out of nowhere, Caleb, my brother, turned to me. This smug, awful grin spread across his face. He drawled, "So, Liam, where's your wife and kids?" "Oh, right. You don't have any." And then Mom actually laughed. Dad chuckled. Caleb leaned back like he'd just delivered the funniest line ever. I just sat there. Stunned. Normally, I'd just let it slide. Caleb was always the golden boy, charming, turning every bad decision into a funny story. I'd heard plenty of digs over the years. But this time, that smug grin, their laughter, it hit me like a physical blow. Something inside me just snapped. I forced a smile, mumbled, "Yeah, no kids." But inside, it felt like a live wire had just frayed. The casual chatter blurred into background noise. All I could see, all I could feel, was every single time I'd bailed Caleb out. Every vacation I'd skipped so Mom and Dad wouldn't lose the house. Every single sacrifice I'd made, so they could have what they needed. And here they were. Laughing. At me. When the laughter finally died, I turned to Caleb. And in the calmest voice I could possibly muster, I asked him, "Where's your money, Caleb?" "Because I've been supporting you. Until today." The room went dead silent. Caleb's smugness just evaporated. Mom's eyes went wide. Dad leaned forward, like he hadn't heard me right. I didn't yell. I didn't shout. But that question. Oh, it landed like a hammer. Caleb recovered first, scoffing, "Whoa. Touchy much. It was just a joke, Liam." Mom gave a nervous little laugh, patting my knee. "You know your brother, dear. He's just teasing. Don't take it so seriously." A joke? I thought. A joke? Dad chimed in, "Look, Liam, we appreciate you, but there's no need to get dramatic. Caleb's young. You can't expect him to be as responsible as you." And that was the fuel on the fire. You can't expect him to be as responsible as you. I'd heard that my entire life. Caleb never had to earn straight A's. Caleb didn't have to pay rent after dropping out of college. Caleb just had to be charming. And I was supposed to keep enabling it. I didn't argue. I just stood up, grabbed my jacket. "I'll see you later," I said. I didn't slam the door, but God, I wanted to. That night, I sat at my kitchen table, laptop open, scrolling through my bank statements. Thousands. No, tens of thousands of dollars, gone to my family. Rent, bills, emergencies that never got paid back. I'd always brushed it off, told myself I was doing the right thing. But staring at those numbers, I finally saw it clearly. I had made it too easy for them. The next week was quiet. Too quiet. A few texts from Mom, "You okay?" Caleb didn't mean it. I didn't reply. I needed space. By Thursday, Dad called. His voice was tight. "We need to talk. The mortgage is due. You haven't sent anything this month." My chest tightened again. "Yeah," I said slowly. "I'm not doing that anymore." Silence. Then, his voice rising, "What do you mean you're not doing that anymore?" "I mean, I'm done paying for everything," I told him. Done being the backup plan. Done being laughed at while I bankroll everyone else's lives. Dad's voice dropped, that low rumble I remembered from childhood. "Liam, you can't just stop. Your mother and I rely on that money." "That's the problem," I shot back. "You shouldn't." He got angry then. "You're being selfish. This family has always supported each other." I almost laughed. "Has it?" "Because I don't remember anyone supporting me. I just remember being told I had to take care of everyone else." He hung up. That weekend, I was summoned to Sunday dinner. I almost didn't go, but a stubborn part of me wanted to see it through. The tension hit me like a physical wall. Mom set the table with a vengeance. Dad was stone-faced. Caleb scrolled on his phone, oblivious. Halfway through dinner, Mom started. "Liam, we can't keep going like this. Your father and I have bills. Caleb has his student loans." I cut her off. "Caleb dropped out of college." She blinked, but pressed on. "And you make more than enough to help. You've always done it." "That was before," I said. "Before I realized I'm the only one here trying to be an adult." Caleb looked up, smirking. "Oh, so now you're better than us because you've got money?" My voice was sharp. "No, I'm better than you because I work for it. You sit around all day, burning through my paycheck." He rolled his eyes. "Whatever. You're still single. Can't be that great of a life." And that was it. Not anger. Just quiet. A cold, absolute quiet. I was done explaining, done defending, done playing the role they'd written for me. I put my fork down. Looked around. Calmly, I said, "I'm not paying for anything else. Not the mortgage, not Caleb's rent, not car insurance. Nothing. If that means you lose the house, that's on you." Mom gasped. Dad slammed his hand down. "Don't talk like that in this house." "Then maybe I shouldn't be in this house," I said. I walked out. My heart pounded, but my head felt clearer than it had in years. The calls started the next day. Mom, Dad, Caleb. Voicemails about tearing the family apart, choosing money over them, not understanding their pressure. I listened to every single one. And for the first time, I didn't feel guilty. I knew the next step was coming, the moment they'd try to force me back into my old role. And I was ready. Sunday morning, a text from Mom, "We're coming over." My stomach dropped. I considered ignoring it, but I knew it wouldn't stop them. 20 minutes later, a demanding knock. Mom stood there with that tight smile. Dad grim. Caleb slouched in behind them. "Liam," Mom said, brushing past me, "we need to talk." They sat down like they owned the place. "We're 3 months behind on the mortgage," Dad said, his voice hard. The bank is calling. If you don't help, we could lose the house. I leaned against the doorway. I told you I'm done. Caleb snorted. You act like a saint. You make good money. Why not just do the right thing and help? My voice was sharp. Because it's not help anymore. It's expected. Mom took a deep breath. Fine. If you won't do it voluntarily, we've already taken care of it. I frowned. What does that mean? Dad pulled a folder from his jacket. We went to the bank. We co-signed your name on a home equity line of credit. The funds are already transferred. The house is safe. My stomach turned to ice. You what? Mom rushed to explain, her voice rising. We had to. Foreclosure was starting. We didn't have a choice. Yes, you did. I growled, my voice low and dangerous. You had every choice. And you chose to forge my signature. Caleb grinned. Hey, bright side. You didn't even lift a finger. You're a hero without even trying. I stared at him, heart pounding. Do you even hear yourself? You just admitted to committing fraud with my name. And you think this is funny? He shrugged. It's just money, Liam. Relax. I grabbed the folder. My hands shook as I flipped through the pages. My name. My info. My forged signature. Tens of thousands of dollars. Legally, my responsibility. You had no right, I choked out. None. Dad's jaw tightened. We had every right. This is about keeping the family together. Sometimes you have to make hard decisions for the greater good. I laughed. A short, humorless sound. The greater good. You stole from me. Used my credit, my name, to bail yourselves out. And you didn't even ask. Mom's eyes welled up. We didn't want to put that pressure on you. You've been so stressed lately. I just stared. So instead, you went behind my back. Caleb leaned back, smirking again. Honestly, you're overreacting. You've been carrying us for years. What's the difference? That was it. Something deep inside me went quiet. Not angry quiet. Ice quiet. The kind of quiet that comes when you stop expecting anything to change and realize you have to be the one to change it. I closed the folder, set it down. Looked at each of them. Get out, I said. Mom blinked. What? You heard me. Get out of my apartment. Dad stood, red-faced. Don't talk to your mother like that. Get out. I repeated, my voice like stone. They hesitated, but something in my eyes must have told them I wasn't bluffing. They left. Caleb, last, muttered, "You're such a drama queen." I didn't reply. Just locked the door. Then sat on the couch, staring at the folder. This wasn't just about money. It was about trust. Shattered. And I realized they weren't going to stop. Not until I made them. After they left, I sat there for hours. The folder felt like a cursed object. Every time I looked, my stomach knotted. The numbers. The forged signature. That night, I couldn't sleep. I replayed every word. Mom's, no choice. Dad's, greater good. Caleb's laughter. I made tea, sat in the silent apartment. I'd always been there for them. Now I felt like I didn't even know who they were. The next morning, I dragged myself to work, barely functioning. By Tuesday, the voicemails had shifted. Guilt trips. Liam, your father hasn't slept in 2 days. Caleb is stressed. We did what we had to do. You'll understand when you have a family of your own. That stung, twisting the knife where Caleb had already poked. Wednesday, Caleb texted, "Stop acting like a victim. Just pay it and move on." By Thursday, the pressure felt unbearable. My head pounded. I went to bed staring at the ceiling. How did it come to this? How was I the enemy? That weekend, I drove past my parents' house. Why? To convince myself it was real. Lights on, Caleb's car, everything normal. But I knew better. They were talking about me, making me the villain. I drove out of town to an overlook. Sat there in the dark, engine off, watching the sunset. That was my rock bottom. Realizing the people I'd sacrificed for, the people I thought I was protecting, saw me as a resource. A bank account with legs. I went home and made a decision. I wasn't going to fix this. Not this time. Instead, I pulled out my laptop, researched identity theft, called my bank's fraud department. Carefully. Calmly. I explained. The woman was sympathetic, but blunt. It was complicated. Police reports, legal filings, maybe a court case. When I hung up, it sank in. No going back. My parents could face serious legal trouble. Caleb might finally face consequences. My family might never forgive me. I almost backed out. Almost told myself to just pay it. But then I saw Caleb's smirk. Dad's righteous anger. Mom's manipulative tears. And I remembered that lonely car ride. Oh, they made their choice. Now I'd make mine. The next few days were a blur of quiet preparation. I locked my credit report, changed passwords, made a lawyer appointment. I told no one. This wasn't revenge, yet. It was survival. Taking back control. But deep down, as I gathered documents, something darker grew. A quiet anger. Patient. Steady. Waiting for the right moment. And I knew that moment was coming. Meeting with the lawyer, Rachel, felt like stepping into a new world. She had this calm, knowing presence. I sat across from her, clutching that folder like it was radioactive. "Liam," she said after reviewing the papers. "This is serious. What your parents did is criminal. Forgery, fraud, identity theft. You have every right to fight this." I nodded, my chest tight with something other than panic. "I don't want to destroy them," I said. "I just want my name cleared. I want them to understand they can't do this to me anymore." Rachel leaned back. "Then we approach it strategically. We send a demand letter. Formally notify the bank you didn't authorize this. It triggers an investigation. That alone puts pressure. If they don't resolve it, we escalate legally." Hearing it all laid out, it gave me clarity. For so long, I'd reacted. Now, I was ahead. I had the upper hand. Leaving her office, the air felt lighter. That week, I threw myself into work. No more coasting. I finished a huge project, helped my team hit a deadline. My manager even noticed. "Excellent work, Liam. Whatever's going on, keep it up." I walked out smiling. My life wasn't just about keeping them afloat anymore. It was about building my own life. I started taking care of myself. Cleaned my apartment, stocked my fridge, joined a gym. Every evening I'd run, lift, feeling the stress bleed out. Rachel sent the demand letter. The bank acknowledged it within 2 days. The loan was flagged. I got a call from the fraud department. This time, I was the one taking decisive action. "This is exactly the right step," the rep said. "Once we verify the signature was forged, we can remove your liability." Hearing those words, it was like taking my first full breath in weeks. Of course, my family didn't take it well. Mom called, crying. "Liam, how could you do this?" The bank called. "Do you know what you're putting us through?" I listened calmly. "Yes. Exactly what you put me through." She went quiet. Caleb sent a string of angry texts. "You're ruining everything. If the house gets taken, it's your fault." I didn't reply to a single one. I was preparing for what was next. Opened a separate savings account, updated my will, met with a financial advisor. "Your situation isn't uncommon," he told me. "Many people with financially dependent families don't realize they need to shield themselves legally until it's too late. You're doing the right thing." I left that meeting with more than peace of mind. I had a plan. As weeks passed, things kept getting better. A raise. Sleeping through the night. My apartment felt different. Warmer. Quieter. Mine. One evening, I stood at my window, wine in hand. No crushing weight, just freedom. But under that freedom, something else built. Not just relief, but something sharper. Every voicemail, every text, every guilt trip. It was fuel. I wasn't just ignoring it. I was collecting it. Every message, every voicemail, Rachel said it was legally smart, but it was more than that. Each one reminded me why I was doing this. Drawing a line. Making sure they understood, cross me again, and there would be consequences. I wasn't just going to stop them this time. I was going to make sure they never tried this again. By the time the bank's investigation really got underway, I had shifted completely. The old Liam, panicking at family calls, was gone. I wasn't putting out fires. I was quietly stacking kindling, planning how to light it. One Thursday morning, an email, handwriting samples and documents sent to forensic analyst. Suspected forgery. Right there. I forwarded it to Rachel. She called instantly. "This is good, Liam. The bank's taking it seriously. Once the report comes back, we can remove your name from the loan entirely. If your parents are smart, they'll refinance before it goes further." "Do you think they will?" I asked. A pause. "If they don't, they're going to find themselves in a very uncomfortable situation." I hung up. The old me might have felt guilt. The new me felt satisfaction. It wasn't just about clearing my name. I needed to make sure they never put me in this position again. So, I started digging. County property records. My parents' house wasn't just behind on the mortgage. A second lien. A personal loan. 2 years old. I didn't know. High balance, higher interest, default risk. Then, Caleb. Public records, 3 unpaid traffic tickets, delinquent credit card, an eviction filing. All time bombs. I wouldn't use it yet, but knowing gave me leverage. The kind they couldn't take away. Rachel connected me with a financial investigator. His job. Trace money. I handed over everything. Bank transfers, receipts, Venmo, every line item showing how much I'd spent. 2 weeks later, his report arrived. I just stared. In 7 years, nearly $86,000. Not just the amount. The pattern. Every time I said yes. Every time I swallowed my pride. Rachel called. "This is powerful, Liam. A clear picture of financial exploitation. A pattern, not a mistake." I hung up, mind racing. I saw the whole picture now. Who they really were. And that made my next steps easier. I spent weeks preparing. Excelling at work, gym, eating well. And building a dossier. I printed everything. Financial report, bank emails, property records, Caleb's filings. All in a binder in my desk. Not to wave it yet. To be ready. The calls slowed. Mom left one voicemail: "We'll put the house on the market if things don't improve. Reconsider. Help us." I didn't call back. Caleb grew desperate. "Bro, please, rent's due, landlord's calling. Just one more time. Mom will freak." I stared at that text, closed my phone. Not this time. By month's end, I was a different person. The anxiety replaced by clear, steady resolve. Evidence. Legal support. Financial stability. Power. And I was done waiting for them to make the next move. If they wanted to play games with my life, it was my turn to set the rules. The day I acted was quiet. Sunny. Deceptively calm. I went through the binder one last time. Leverage. Rachel and I had refined the plan. A settlement letter: demand they refinance and remove my name within 30 days. If they refuse, we escalate. This way, I showed good faith. The letter went out Monday. 3 pages. Clear. Professional. Failure to comply within 30 days will result in legal action, including a police report for forgery and fraud, as well as a civil claim for financial exploitation. Rachel sent it certified mail. I waited. 2 days later, Mom called. "Liam, what is this? We got your lawyer's letter." "It's not from me," I said evenly. "It's from my attorney. It outlines what needs to happen next." "You can't do this," she cried. "Do you know what this will do to your father? Do you know what it's done to me already?" I asked. Long pause. "We'll talk about this at dinner. Sunday. Please come." I almost said no. But this was it. The moment I prepared for. Sunday. I arrived, binder in hand. The house felt smaller. Cluttered. Shabby. Mom and Dad waited at the kitchen table. Caleb slouched. "This is what you wanted, right?" Caleb sneered. "House is gone. We're screwed." "Congrats." I didn't take the bait. "No," I said calmly. "This is what you chose. I gave you 30 days to fix this without losing the house. You didn't." Mom went pale. I slid the financial report across the table. "This is every payment I've made for you. Nearly $86,000. Rent, mortgage, utilities, car repairs, emergencies. I kept you afloat. I never asked for a dime back." Dad's jaw worked. "But this," I said, laying the forged loan documents on top. "This is where it stopped being help and started being theft." I looked at Caleb. "And you? You think this is a joke? You think you can keep calling me?" "Here's the thing. I have every eviction filing, every unpaid bill, every delinquent account. I know exactly how deep you're in." Caleb's smirk finally crumbled. "Here's what's going to happen," I continued, calm, steady. "You refinance the house, remove my name within 30 days. You stop using my information. You never ask me for money again. If you do, I file this binder with the court. And the 3 of you can explain yourselves to a judge." Silence. Mom's voice was small. "And if we can't refinance? Then you lose the house. And that will be on you, not me." Caleb muttered something. Dad's glare silenced him. I stood, collected my binder, walked to the door. "You have 30 days, I said, turning back. Use them wisely." I didn't feel triumphant. Not yet. But I felt something better. I felt in control. The 30 days were unnervingly quiet. No calls, no texts, no guilt. My phone wasn't lighting up with drama. At first, it was disorienting. Then, peaceful. Like breathing fresh air. Rachel called. 2 weeks in. The handwriting analysis came back. Signature confirmed forgery. You are officially cleared of any liability for the loan. My chest unwound. So that's it. That's it. The bank holds your parents responsible. Whether they refinance or not is up to them. That night, I sat on my balcony. Relief. Anticipation. The weight was gone. I was free. Untouchable. 2 days later, Mom called. I didn't answer. Voicemail. They called, Liam. The bank called. The loan is solely in our names. We can't make the payments. Your father is talking about selling the house. I listened twice. Deleted it. No smugness. No guilt. They brought this on themselves. By the 4th week, the house was listed. I found out from property records I was monitoring. Priced low. Went fast. The next Sunday, Mom texted, dinner. One last time. Please come. I hesitated, then agreed. I wanted to see this through. I arrived. House half empty. Boxes. Missing furniture. An air of finality. Mom looked tired. Dad grim. Caleb pacing. This is what you wanted, right? Caleb sneered. House is gone. We're screwed. Congrats. I didn't take the bait. No, I said calmly. This is what you chose. I gave you 30 days. You didn't. Mom said, we couldn't qualify for refinancing without you. We tried. I almost believed her, but it didn't matter. They were forced to carry the weight themselves. Dad looked up. We'll have enough from the sale to pay off the debt. Barely. We'll rent. I nodded. Good. That's what responsible adults do. Live within their means. Caleb snorted. Easy for you to say. You've always had money. I had money, I countered, because I worked for it. Because I didn't blow it on vacations I couldn't afford, or max out credit cards, or ignore my bills until someone else paid them. Caleb looked away. Mom's voice was small. So that's it. You're really cutting us off. I took a deep breath. I'm not cutting you off. I'm stepping back. I'm not your safety net anymore. If you fall, you fall. And you figure out how to get back up without calling me. Silence. Heavier now. Acceptance, maybe. I looked around the house I'd grown up in, the house I'd fought so hard to save. You know, I said quietly. I used to think it was my job to keep this house standing. To keep all of you standing. But maybe this was what needed to happen. Maybe losing it is what finally forces all of us to grow up. No one spoke. I walked to the front door, hand on the knob, turned back one last time. This is the last time I'm coming here. The next chapter of my life doesn't include this house, or the version of me that lived in it. If you want to be part of that next chapter, it has to be on different terms. Equal terms. And with that, I left. Driving away, I felt a strange mix of grief and relief. The house was gone, but so was the crushing burden I had carried with it. For the first time in years, my future felt entirely my own. When I got home, I put the binder back in my desk drawer. Not out of spite. Not as a threat. Just as a reminder. A record of where I'd been, what I'd survived, and what I'd finally walked away from. As I closed the drawer, I caught my reflection in the dark window and saw something I hadn't seen in a long time. I was smiling. This was a fight for my own life, my own sanity. I had to draw a line. What about you? Have you ever had to choose yourself over family expectations? Or maybe you've been in a similar situation, feeling used. I'd really love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it.